that you walking in?
Yes.
John, how tall were you back then?
Probably like 6'1", 6'2", maybe.
6'1"?
I don't recall. I don't remember, but
Okay. I want to show you State's Exhibit marked 6C for identification, Mr. Wilford, and ask you if you can identify that.
yes, I can.
Okay. Does it accurately and truly depict where McDonald's was and where the school was and where Wyndham Lakes is?
Yes.
All right, Your Honor, this time I'd like to offer 6C.
No objection.
Okay, without objection, State's Exhibit 6C for identification will be received as State's 9090.
Put this on here. Let's see. All right, does that, let me see if I can do better than I did before. Okay, I want to point out there's a thing that's going to come up where okay, you could pick a color and show us where McDonald's is.
It's
Right. And how about Marjorie Stoneman Douglas? Okay. Wyndham Lakes.
It's this area.
Okay, and that's where you live?
Yeah.
Okay. On this map that's been introduced, can you, I know you didn't know the road that you saw him on again, but
I didn't know the exact road, but
do you know what area you saw him on this? Can you tell?
I'm pretty sure we might have like crossed through here, and then while we were driving through, then that's when I like saw him walking on the sidewalk. But it was like for a small fraction of time, so I didn't really pay attention to it.
But that's the area where you drew that arrow in the green line. That's the area you were going to go to your home, right?
Right, that I remember. Yes.
Okay. If you saw that person that sat next to you in McDonald's, would you be able to identify him if you saw him again?
Yes.
You see him in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Would you point him out for us?
Yeah.
The person in the blue sweater?
Yep.
Madam Reporter, with court's permission, would you like the record reflect that Mr. Wilford has identified the defendant, Nikolas Cruz, please? Thank you. Your Honor, at this time, I have no further questions of Mr. Wilford.
Defense, any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. You're excused.
Thank you.
Officer Michael Leonard.
Outside of the Mir space station.
And when you have 0 on the counter, you may turn off the valve. 250 now in the compartment and 0.28 in the suit. Copy.
отсеке 220.
220 in the compartment and 0.38 in the suit for both EV1 and EV2, and the pressure inside the suit is stable.
Снижение давления в отсеке. Каждому из вас скафандр на дисплее должно будет прийти сообщение, что при давлении ЭШО.
So, when the pressure in SO is 20 millimeters, BSS can be molded to O2 open EVA.
Once the hatch is open to the Poisk airlock, the first order of business will be for Artemiev and Cristoforetti to install a protective ring around the circumference of the hatch that will protect the hatch and its delicate sealing surfaces from any impacts from micrometeoroid debris that might strike the area during the course of the spacewalk. First out of the Poisk airlock will be Cristoforetti. She'll be joined thereafter by Artemiev. Cristoforetti will have a few minutes to adapt to the spacewalk environment, this being the first spacewalk of her career, the 6th for Artemiev. They will gather up all of their tools, and the first task of the spacewalk then will be for Artemiev to deploy 10 nanosatellites, one after the other, several seconds apart. Those nanosatellites, part of a radio technology experiment. The satellites each about 1 pound apiece, measuring about 6 inches by 6 inches by 13 inches in length. The ballistics officers, both here and at the Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow, have analyzed the expected trajectory of the deployment of these 10 nanosatellites and determined some time ago during reviews of today's spacewalk that they pose no hazard to the International Space Station. They'll be deployed retrograde into orbits of their own.
For the injector, yes, it's complete. Now 80 millimeters in the compartment. I have a message.
Хорошо, она потихонечку идет под строчку и будет внизу висеть.
Okay, Samantha, you may proceed for RODF. We have 60 in the compartment.
Ждем от тебя доклада по сообщению, что у тебя тоже пришло.
Copy. We are waiting for the message to appear on your display, Alex. And 60 millimeters in the compartment. Copy.
A good view of the NAOCA multipurpose laboratory module and the European robotic arm. At the top of your screen is the Parole node module that arrived to link up to NAOCA back in November of last year. Parole is a multi-hatched docking port for multiple vehicles, both unpiloted and piloted Russian vehicles that will arrive at the International Space Station.
It's 40 millimeters in the compartment and 0.36 inside the suit. Copy, Samantha.
This view from an external camera on the International Space Station as the complex and its crew members fly 257 statute miles over southern Argentina, about to begin a southwest to northeasterly trajectory that will carry the complex and its residents across the Atlantic Ocean and the west coast of Africa a short time from now.
Pressure is 20 millimeters and we have annunciation.
Спасибо, все верно. Хорошо. И теперь при 20 миллиметрах
And at 20 millimeters per vacuum gauge, you may put the BSS into open EVA position. Copy. We have 20 millimeters.
Два открытого КД.
And going to open EVA position.
Это хорошо. И ожидаем дальше до
The
12
pressure is 18 now, so we are now waiting until 0.12.
При 12 миллиметрах
At
будем закрывать.
12 millimeters,
А потом
we
будем
close
закрывать
KSD2 and then KSDSO pressure relief valve.
Сейчас в отсеке 15 миллиметров.
15 millimeters in the compartment. Copy.
Did there come a time where you viewed a video of the arrest?
Yes,
Okay, I want to show you State's Exhibit 6E. Did you recognize this?
I do. That's my initial.
Okay, and you initialed it, and this accurately and truly depicts the scene of the arrest and what happened?
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right, I'd like to offer 6E.
Subject to our previous objection based on 401 Hitchcock versus State.
Okay. Over the defense objection, State's Exhibit 6E for identification will be received as State's 92. Is that an equipment problem, or is that what the video sounds like? That's okay, because is the video supposed to have sound?
No.
So maybe we can just mute it?
Okay, is that you?
It's me on the right with my weapon drawn.
Okay. And I want to show you now State's Exhibits marked 6I and 6H. Do those photographs truly and accurately depict you and the defendant at the scene of the arrest?
Yes, it does.
Both photographs?
Yes, they both do.
Your Honor, I'd like to offer State's Exhibits 6I and 6H.
Defense?
Renew our previous objection based on 401 Hitchcock versus State, please.
Okay, so noted. Over the defense objection, 6H for identification will be received as State's 93, and 6I for identification will be received as State's 94.
Okay, Officer Leonard, I'm going to show you now State's Exhibit marked 93. What does that show? Where are you?
I'm standing leaning over to the right.
Okay. And State's Exhibit 94.
That's me on the left of the defendant.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Officer Leonard. Your Honor, I have no further questions of Officer.
Defense?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. You're excused.
Officer Kyle Green. Kyle Green, Green.
Sure. May be seated. Before I forget, I wanted to tell the lawyers something. We're thinking, we've tried to order a new system for these headphones, but it's quite the process. So they run on 2 different bases, 8 headphones on each base. What I'd like to try today is using just one base, and I'm probably not saying the right terminology, because we think that there won't be as much feedback and noise and issues if we just use the one set of 8, which would mean 2 sets for each side. But the alternative would be going back to the old way of doing sidebars, where we would have to come to the side by the clerk, in which really no more than 2 from each side would be able to fit, if not only 1. So if there's no objection, we'd like to try that this afternoon and see if it works any better. So it would be that would mean 2 sets of headphones per 2 for the defense and 2 for the state. I'm happy to give you all time to relay what was said on the sidebars if you're worried about that, but that's what we're going to do for the remainder of the day and see if it works any better, because they're pretty much, I don't think they're not working about 95% of the time without some feedback. Okay. Is there anything else before we take our break?
Jeff, you made reference to one of the difference being shaking Mr. Leonard's hand, apparently with another member of the defense family that was doing it as well.
Okay, Mr. Sutz said he was going to take care of that on the break, okay? We're in recess for about 10 minutes.
Judge, take the witness back.
Or you can sit there, whatever you want. Do you want us to just stay there? be on recess too and go out if you want, whatever is better for you. It doesn't matter to me.
jurors are entering.
Okay, the jurors are present. Everyone may be seated. Sir, let us swear you in. I don't think so. Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down and be seated. Please speak into the microphone and state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Kyle Green, KYLEGREENE.
And your occupation, sir?
I'm a police officer with the city of Coral Springs.
How long have you been a police officer?
6 years.
Okay. I'd like to call your attention to Wednesday, February the 14th, 2018. Were you on duty?
Yes.
And did you have an occasion to respond to a certain location?
Yes.
Where did you respond to?
About Coral Ridge Drive and Wyndham Lake South.
Okay. And when you arrived there, what did you do?
Officer Leonard had already stopped the defendant, and I was, I believe, the second or third officer there responding.
Okay. Let me show you now State's Exhibit. It's already evidence. State's Exhibit 94. Can you see that okay?
Yes.
All right. Are you in that photograph?
Yes, sir.
Which one? Who are you?
On the left.
On the left? Okay. And State's Exhibit 93.
The one in the middle holding his arm.
Okay. Okay. And when you arrived there, did you take certain property from the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. Let me show you State's Exhibit for identification, which has previously been identified as a receipt and a copy of a receipt, and ask you if you can identify that, Officer Green.
Yes, sir. It's a receipt that was pulled off of him.
Okay. And where did you get that receipt from?
I have to refer to my report for that.
I'm sorry?
I have to look at the report for specifics where it came from.
Okay.
It'd be in the front right pocket.
Of the defendant?
Yes.
All right. You see him in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Point him out for us?
Overruled.
He's sitting over there with the blue mask on and the blue sweater.
Okay. Madam Reporter, with the court's permission, would you please let the record reflect that the Officer Green has identified the defendant, Nikolas Cruz? Okay. And is the photograph, the enlargement, is that an accurate depiction of the receipt?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 5X and 6L.
Is there any objection?
Just to renew a previously made objection pursuant to Rule 401, Hitchcock versus State.
Okay, over the defense objection, 5X will be received as states 95, and 6L will be received as states 96.
And I'd like to show you State's Exhibit marked 24D and 6J. You should open these below you and take a look at them. And see if you can identify them.
Yes, sir.
What are they?
This is it's a hat and a pair of glasses.
And where did you get them?
They were off of his person. He was wearing them.
Of the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. And showing you State's Exhibit. It's been introduced in evidence. 93. Can you see the hat in that photograph?
Yes, it's by Officer Leonard's feet.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Okay. At this time now, I'd like to offer State's Exhibits. Uh, 34D and 6J.
6 or 26?
6J.
Okay, thank you. Is there any objection?
This member just renew our objection pursuant to Rule 401 Hitchcock versus State.
Okay, over the defense objection, 24D for identification will be received as 95, and 6J will be received as states, I'm sorry. Correction, 24D will be received as states 97. Right, 97. And states 6J for identification will be received as states 98.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Officer Green, were you able to, did you obtain any money from the defendant? Would he have any money with him?
Yes.
How much money did he have with him?
If I go to the property receipts, it has the individual amounts.
Okay.
One of the items was $2.51. We had 6 pennies, 1 nickel, 1 dime, 3 quarters, 6 $50 bills, 1 $20 bill, 2 $5 bills, and 21 $1 bills.
Okay. Did you ever add that, how much money that was?
I did not.
Okay. Run it by me again?
$2.51,
Okay.
6 cents,
Just the bills.
just the bills. 6 $50 bills,
All right, so how much is that?
it's $300.
Okay.
$20.
Okay. So I get $322, right?
Yes,
So far?
plus $10.
Okay. So how much is that?
I didn't hear the first part.
All right, so it's $2.51. Let's go to $2, and then you have $300 and $20, right?
Yes, sir. $322, so $332,
Right.
and then plus $21 is $353.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Let me show you State's Exhibit in evidence for identification. 6J.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is that the money that you took from Mr. Cruz?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, offered 6K.
Is there any objection?
This member just renew a previous objection on Rule 401 Hitchcock versus State.
Okay, over the defense objection, States Exhibit 6K for identification will be received as States 99.
And I have no further questions of Officer Green, Your Honor. Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. You're excused.
Thank you.
Detective Clint Williams.
Good morning. Please remain standing to be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. You can be seated. Please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Clint Williams, Williams.
Thank you.
And your occupation, sir?
I'm employed with the Broward County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been with the sheriff's office?
16 years.
I'd like to call your attention to February the 14th, Wednesday, February the 14th, 2018. Were you on duty?
I was.
And did you have an occasion to go to the North District Hospital?
I did.
Okay. And did you take some photographs of some deceased?
I did.
Who did you take photographs of?
So there were two. There was Gina Montalvo and Chris Hickson.
I'm going to show you State's exhibit. Just hold it down, 5K. You recognize who that is?
I do.
Okay, who is that?
That's Gina Montalvo.
Okay, and State's exhibit 5H. Who's that?
Chris Hickson.
Okay, and that was at the North District Hospital?
North Broward Hospital, yes, sir.
Okay, where is that located?
It's in 201 East Sample Road in the city of Deerfield, just east of I-95.
Your Honor, I'd like to offer 5H and 5K. Please leave sidewalk, please.
Sure. over the defense objection states 5H for identification will be received as states 100, and states 5K will be received as states 101.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Detective Williams, there come a time on February the 14th, 2018, you came in contact with the defendant.
Yes.
In this case, Nikolas Cruz.
Yes.
Have you seen him in the courtroom today?
I do.
Would you be good enough to point him out for us?
Overruled.
Yes. He's seated right there wearing the blue jacket and wearing a face mask.
Okay. Madam Reporter, with the court's permission, would you please let the record reflect that Detective Williams has identified the defendant's case, Nikolas Cruz. Where did you see him?
He was in the emergency room.
Okay. And I want to show you State's exhibits. Well, this first. The State's exhibit. Six oh.
Yes, I know what this is. This is a red JROTC polo shirt that I recovered from his hospital property bag.
Okay. And State's exhibit 1. Six P.
Yes, these are the black denim pants that I recovered from Cruz's patient property bag at the hospital.
Okay, thank you, Detective. Your Honor, I'd like to know 6O and 6P.
Is there any objection?
Just renew our objection pursuant to Rule 401 and Hitchcock versus State Action.
Okay, over the defense objection, 6O, excuse me, will be received as states 102, and states P for identification will be received as states 103.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions with Detective Williams, and we have no further witness this morning.
Okay, so does the defense have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good day, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Sess, does that conclude your witness presentation for today?
Yes.
Because we're only in session for a half day.
Right, that's what you had said yesterday.
Right, okay, okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is a short day for you all. I'm going to remind you, please, we're gonna be on recess until tomorrow morning. We are starting an hour later, so we need you here tomorrow morning at 9:30. Remember, when you are on a recess, even an overnight recess, especially an overnight recess, you may not talk about the case or permit anyone to say anything to you or in your presence about the case. If anyone attempts to say anything to you or in your presence about this case, tell the person to stop and report the matter immediately. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you all tomorrow morning at 9:30. Jurors have been excused. We're going to reconvene tomorrow. We're going to start at 10 instead of 9. The jurors are going to be here at 9:30 to get everybody set up to start at 10. And I think that's it for today, unless I'm forgetting something that someone wants to remind me about.
At some point, and it doesn't need to be today, but we have filed a motion,
sort of a motion for continuance, but a motion for some time in between, based on medical condition of one of our experts who had to withdraw. So we do need to deal with that and figure out timing so that we can have an idea. A lot of our initial witnesses are going to be coming from other places.
Okay, I have received the motion as well as the state's response, and I'm just gonna rule on the pleadings.
Okay.
I'm working on it right now.
Your Honor, if I may.
Sure.
The state, based upon the reply filed by the defense, which contained additional information that was not contained in their initial motion for continuance, the state is going to file a supplement to their response.
I didn't realize there was a reply file. Was that recently?
Last week. It was Sunday night, I think.
I know there was a motion, and then I know there was a response by the state, but then there's a reply, and now the state's gonna respond again.
Yes.
And when will you have that?
I'm going to work on it this weekend. We're in court all day tomorrow, and I will work on it this weekend and have it on to you on Monday morning.
Okay, so then I will hold off and wait to read everything, the reply and the response to the reply, and I'll have an order by next week, beginning of the week.
And then can we go sidebar real quick, please?
Well, the jury's not in here.
Can we go sidebar, please?
Okay.
Your Honor, so the defense had filed D-302 and D-303. I believe you filed a response to that.
I did. I filed a response to the first one, Your Honor.
Which is the 302 or 303? One was motion for judicial review?
One was for the judicial review, and that was filed, I believe, last Thursday, a week ago today. And then the defense filed another motion regarding the parameters of what could be done. For example, they want duties and masks to be worn by the jurors. We have no objection to that. They do not want the jurors to go into the classrooms. We object to that. You know, the victims were killed, victims were shot in those classrooms. So we object to any restriction on jurors being able to go inside of the classroom. So there are things to be worked out regarding that motion, but as far as asking you to go there because you might get emotional at the crime scene, which is really the basis of their motion, it's not necessary, Your Honor. It's just not necessary. That should be denied.
Okay, so this was my plan. The reason I hadn't addressed it yet, I want to get more information at the meeting today as far as the procedure and what is proposed, so that I can have a better idea of the semantics and the procedure. And then I think that a lot of these issues may resolve themselves once we figure out what exactly are the state's intentions as far as the procedure and so on and so forth.
No, and I understand that, but what I wanted to bring, and first of all, we can set B 302, which is a motion for judicial review of the crime scene, for another day, because
Sure.
that is not the sum and substance of
Sure.
our motion. And you read the pleading, so we can defer on
Right.
that. But 303, those are procedures for the crime scene view, and in light of the fact that that meeting that you just referenced to is imminent, I wanted to make sure that the court was familiar with what the defense was asking for.
Oh, I am, and also,
Okay.
and also the chief judge had a meeting with the state attorney and the public defender together and discussed all of these things and then apprised me of what they had discussed, and so I thought we would further the discussion at the meeting, and then, but yes, I am familiar with all of the requests.
Okay, thank you.
For the meeting this afternoon, I assume the defendant is not going to be present?
We've already indicated that we'll
They
wait
waived.
because it's a procedural issue.
I agree, I didn't know that he had waived it.
Yeah, you asked me before, so we're good.
I forgot.
And
You
while
want it
everyone's
right?
here,
I'll do it then.
while everyone's here, we only have until 2 o'clock for the meeting. If you all think we're gonna need more than that, if everyone maybe can come at 1:15.
I don't know where the meeting is.
It's in Judge Tudor's
Conference room?
conference room, thank you, on the 20th floor.
And he's setting up a Zoom, so we'll be able to watch that later, so that the numbers in the room are minimal.
Okay. I wish I'm thinking it would just be easier, we could just do it right now, but I think there's people that are not present here that are going to be attending that maybe are not available right now.
I think Mr. Weeks wanted to attend, we can see if he's available, Judge.
Ozzy, what about from your end? Captain Tianga, I'm sorry.
If everybody's here, I can figure it out, but there are a couple people that are coming.
Well, let me make a quick phone call. Was there any sensitive information?
Yes. On my part, the media can't be there.
No, not in the meeting. I mean,
Yes, Judge, they're around the photos.
but they weren't published, right?
They weren't.
calling Mr. Weeks to let him know.
Yes.
And then he wanted to make sure that Mr. Pryor also knew that we were moving it up, if he needs to be there.
I believe Mr. Pryor is aware of that, Your Honor. I'll double check with him.
Do you know anything about the Zoom link for it? No?